Hello students, welcome back to the video of dictionary techniques. We have seen the static dictionary technique, that is a diagram coding. So we have also seen what is a disadvantage occurs if you don't change your dictionary, or if you create your dictionary which will be always fixed. So that will only help you when your input is not changing, or you have idea about your input. So we will move to the adaptive dictionary coding techniques. As the name suggests, it is adaptive. It will adapt to the coming data. It will adapt to the coming input. A completely defined dictionary does not exist prior to the encoding process, and dictionary is not fixed. So before you start encoding, the dictionary will not be fixed. When I say see the word here, completely defined. So you will have an initial dictionary with you, which will not be called as a complete, because you will go on changing that dictionary. You will go on adding certain inputs to that particular dictionary. At the beginning of the coding, only an initial dictionary exists. That's true. It adapts itself to the input during the coding process. So as and when your data comes, the dictionary might change, the index might change, the entries might change. The all adaptive dictionary coding algorithms can be traced back to the two different original works of Ziv and Lempel. So till now, whatever we are studying, see, these people have carried out their work in 1977 and 1978. So we are still working with their algorithm. It has a very simple process to do, and the decompression is also easy. So the algorithm based on Ziv, that is the one of the researcher, is referred as LZ77, whereas those based on year 1978, researcher is the same Ziv. Those are called as LZ78. So for us, we have LZ77 as well as 78 algorithms to study. So what is LZ77, or how the algorithm works? So in LZ77, the dictionary used is actually a portion of your input text, which has been recently coded. So here you have to do the assumption that some part which you have taken, you have to assume that it has been already coded. We will see what does it mean. A text that needs to be encoded, that is the next input part, is compared with the strings of the symbols in the dictionary, that we do in the dictionary coding. That whatever input data I have, I will compare with the dictionary which is there with me. If it is there in the dictionary, I will put the index of that dictionary as output. Here what are you doing? The longest matched string in the dictionary is characterized by a pointer, which is represented by a triple of data items. So here what you are going to do is LZ77 gives you output in 3 parameters. So one of the parameter is the longest match string. So when I check my input value in the dictionary, I will try to find a longest match. What does it mean? If my data is considered as A, B, C, D, E, F, G. So in the dictionary, I will try to find a longest. That means I will try, if I find A, I will try to find AB. If I find AB, I will try to find ABC. If I find ABC, I will try to find ABCD, so on. So I will try to have the maximum match. Note that triple function as an index to the dictionary. So instead of one single value in the dictionary, I will be having the triples here. So I will be always putting on the output string. There will be 3 values which will be treated as an index to the dictionary. In this way, a variable length string of symbol is mapped to a fixed length pointer. So there is LZ77 is also called as a sliding window algorithm. Now, what do you mean by sliding window algorithm? Or what are the components of the sliding window algorithm? The window consists of 2 parts. One is your search buffer, another is your look ahead buffer. So the search buffer contains a portion of the text stream that has been coded. So where are you going to search your data? Where are you going to search for a codes for your data? That will be your dictionary, or it is called as a search buffer in the LZ77. The look ahead buffer. It contains the text to be encoded. So whatever is the input, that will be there in my look ahead buffer. Look ahead. Find out what you have to encode. That is nothing but your look ahead buffer. The window slides through the input text stream from the beginning to end during the entire encoding process. So this compression will happen part-wise. So the window will be always have these two parts, search buffer and look ahead buffer. The moment input data is encoded, it goes to the search buffer and the next data comes to the look ahead buffer. The size of search buffer is much larger than that of the look ahead buffer because that is your dictionary. So if your dictionary is big, then only you are going to achieve a compression. That dictionary tells you that this much data has been encoded and we already have a code word for that particular data. The sliding window usually on the order of few thousand symbols. The look ahead buffer on the order of several tens to 100 symbols. We will see. So this will be a pictorial representation of your LZ77. This is your search buffer. That means this part has been already encoded. I already have code word for this much data, and this is my look ahead buffer. So I'm going to code any these symbol first. So when we say it is a sliding window, the moment I finish encoding these two data, my window will move ahead, saying that now these are my encoded data. I will include next two symbols in the look ahead buffer. Okay. So and we had said that we will try to find out longest match. For example, this is the first data which I have to encode. I will try to find out where is this data, where is this letter in the search buffer. So we were trying to find out where is my A. So I can see that A is one this position, it is also at this position, and it is also at this position. So now I will see which letter follows A, B. Okay, whether it is there, this combination, no, AX, no, yes, it is here, AB. So I have a match for my this particular alphabet. So I will always consider this as my match pointer, or from this is my offset now. So OLC, where O is the offset, L is the length of the match, and C is the code word corresponding to the symbol in the look ahead buffer that follows the match. So this is the triple in which your LZ77 will be giving you the output. So let us consider for this particular example. So I will write O as offset as, let us count where I have found the match. This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So O is my 7. Remember to count it from the right to left. What is the match? How many letters I found that it has been encoded? 1 and 2. What does, so in here it will be 7 comma 2. And what is your C? It says that it is the corresponding symbol after the match. So you have R here. So you will be saying the triple which will be sent will be 7 comma 2 comma code of R. And then you will write this, all the part will be included in the search buffer. And this, the window will slide forward by next 3 letters. Now this up to here you will have your look ahead buffer. So if the size of the search buffer is S, the size of the window, that is search ahead buffer, search buffer plus look ahead buffer is W, and the size of the source alphabet is A, then the number of bits can be calculated as ceiling of bits required to represent search buffer, bits required to represent window, and bits required to represent the source alphabet. So number of bits you will be needing to calculate, because this is the way you will be finding your compression ratio. Now let's see one example from your reference book, Sayu. What is the input? Input has been already given to you. So in the compression, in the encryption, we will have all this, nonsensical strings to do. So you have cabra, cadabra, and something like that. So what is mentioned here? Window size is 13 and look ahead buffer is 6. So from this, you have to understand that if the look ahead buffer size is given as 6 and I know the total window is 13, that means my search buffer should consist of 7 letters. So let us do the partition. I will take 13 letters first. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and 7. So this becomes my S, that is my search buffer, and this becomes my look ahead buffer. Now let us try to find out. My first letter is D. So do I have D here? No. That means I don't have any match. So my offset will be 0, length of the match will be 0, and I am going to send this code word for D. So I will write code word for. So this will be the triple which will be considered. Now what will happen? This D will come to the search buffer and the next character will be included in the look ahead buffer. So see here, B has come here and then you have considered next character, that is this next character has been considered. Now try to find out a match for A. Is there? A is at this position also, A is at this position also, and then A is at this position also. So you have to check where are you finding your next characters also. So AB is not there, AB is not, yes, AB is there. And then count how many alphabets are matching. So B is there, R is there, and A is there. That means number of matches will be 4. See here. So offset is 7, but number of matches are 4. And then you will be sending the code word for R, because after the match, R is the word which is followed. So you have 7, 4, C of R. Now what will happen? You have encoded up to this. So all this will be in your search buffer. So you have encoded R and you will include next 6 characters in your look ahead buffer. So let us try to find out. Now this is a very tricky thing. I want you everybody to pay attention here. So I'm counting R. Okay. So I have R at this position. Okay. And then I have R at this position. Now when I look for match, so there is no rule that the match has to be looked in the search buffer. It can go into look ahead buffer also. See how it is happening. I have to compare R. So let us see, R has been found. I have to check for A. So I will put a cross here. So R has been checked. So this A has been checked. Okay. R again. So you have R. Then what do I have? R again. I will just continue checking. So I have R. What do you have? A. It is A. So now you have to understand that even if the offset becomes 3, the length of match can extend into a look ahead buffer. Okay, so here my coding will be offset is 3, match is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I will write 5. What is followed by that match? So you have up to B. So you have followed D. So you will write a code word up to D. Okay. So this is the way your encoding will happen. You will be sending these 3 triples to the decoder. Now at the decoding, how will we be doing it? Assume that we have decoded the sequence CABRACA, that is CABRACA, and received the 3 triples which we have encoded. So first one is easy. If you remember, it was 0, 0, code of D. So there was no match and the next symbol was D. So now the decoded string is this. Okay. So we have got it from the first triple. So what is after that? What do you receive? You receive 7, 4, code of on. So you already have this, and you know when offset is written, it is written from right to left. So count 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So you have come to the 7. So you have utilized this particular one. This says whatever you have, you copy 4 letters next. So you are staying from here. So this is your first, so you copied A. So second was B, so you copied B. Third was your R, copied R. 4 was A, copied A. Okay. So after 7, copy the next 4 letters in your for your decoded and then write down code word for R. So you have written code. So this is the way the strings are decoded. Now see, your decoded string is this. You receive a triple 3. So you write here 1, 2, 3. And you have to write 5 letters next. So you have written A because, you have written R. Then you have written A. Then you have written R. And you have 4th letter here again. So that will be copied. Then you have copied 5th letter. And then you will write the code. This is the way your decoding happens. I hope if you have understood the encoding properly, I don't think there should be any problem in decoding as well. Now, as we observe, this is a very convenient, very easy to implement dictionary technique. But do you think that it will work everywhere? they have given the simplest solution. You can write a code for it, you can write a program for it, but whether it will work for everything, because in this case, uh, search buffer size and look ahead buffer size plays very important role. How do you decide that? Now we'll just see one example that is called as a worst case condition of LZ77, or Achilles heel in LZ77. See, this is your A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, which is a fairly repetitive string. Now, this is your search buffer. Now see what happens. You are looking for A. Okay. Do you have A here? No. So you will write 0, 0, comma A. Now, A will be included here and B will be shifted out. Whereas, B is the letter which has to be encoded. When you include B, C will be shifted out, when the C is the next encoded letter. So this is called as a worst case condition, which happens because of your restrictions on the search buffer or a look ahead buffer. Now let's see one more example of your sliding window. Uh, we will not be completely solving this. It's just that to give you more idea about the procedure in which it works. So you have search buffer here, you have look ahead buffer, and the characters will be moving from right to left. So what is your input you have? You have Sir, Sid, Eastman, easily please, C6 series. Okay. So here this particular symbol is representing the space. So let us start. So I take all the things because I don't have any encoded portion, but it is written that look ahead buffer will have 10 symbols, which is nothing but the space will be also counted as one particular symbol. So let's start. So you don't have anything in the search buffer, so you will have 00S. So this will continue. You have 00R, then you have a space. Now check for the next entry. You have S here. So I have to code S, and here I have a entry for S. So I will write offset 1, 2, 3 and 4. So when I write 4 as my offset, I have to write 1, and after that, just give me a second. Yeah. So you have match also. SI is your match. So you will write 4, 2, code word for D. Okay. So you write instead of C, D, it is written only 4, 2, D. Now what do you have space? Do you have space here? Yes. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So now you will write 4, one letter has been matched, 1, you will write E. Okay. So just observe how the string has been coded. S you have at at third position. Sorry, what is the position you have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and 7, 8, 9, 10. So you have at 10th position. Whenever you have this tie that you have at multiple positions, you will always prefer to take the longest offset. Okay, the wherever it is, it should be far away from your dividing line. So this way you go on doing it, and the next full example is there on the slide, but I have not included because I want you to complete this particular example as a homework. And wherever you find that you are stuck somewhere, you can always mail me, or you can put it in the comment that this part we are not able to get it. So I hope you try this particular method on a different sentences, different string, and find out any more peculiarity about the subject, or more, some characteristics of this particular technique. So I would like to end this video here only. We have to complete LZ78 as well as LZW dictionary technique, but definitely we will be solving more problems on all the dictionary techniques. Thank you.